we go to Eloisa on this side.
I have a question about nurturing desires. So when you have a desire and then you ask why and then good things start to happen, how do you keep doing that so that they continue rather than stagnate on the good bit?
Well, remember the law of attraction is operating on both conditions, is it not?
Correct.
So the law of attraction is still going to bring you the negative condition until such a time as that condition actually has changed emotionally.
Yes. Okay.
So one great thing to work on is, why am I resisting emotion? You've learnt already that while an emotion exists inside of the soul, it determines your will. It's preclusion. It stops you from change while that emotion exists. All I need to do is develop a desire to know why I don't want to feel emotion.
Awesome. Yep.
Then I have a chance of changing. Does that make sense?
It does.
And then you'll see, if you allow yourself to be sensitive to that, which is another desire that you'll have to also develop, you might start feeling some of the emotional reasons why you are afraid of emotions.
Yes.
You know, and the law of attraction will bring you them because your desire is more powerful than your will. So your law of attraction the law of attraction will bring you events that help you see why you're so scared of emotion.
Awesome.
You go, and so that, let's say you stand up for yourself and you just get hammered. Oh, that's the reason why. Oh, I'm afraid of getting hammered every time. You actually deal with the fear of getting hammered, then you'll start telling the truth to people and you don't get hammered. Because now it's all, my will has changed from saying I'm afraid of getting hammered to being not afraid of getting hammered anymore. Ironically, I'll get less hammered. Right? Because the law of attraction is operating upon my will beforehand, I'm going to get hammered quite frequently. But now that my will has changed, I'll get less hammered. I speak the truth and I get less hammered. And I get to the point where I speak the truth and nobody hardly hammers you at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just to clarify, so what you're saying is that my will right now, okay, it's all of this stuff and I'm attracting a lot of it's not very nice.
Yep.
But as soon as my desire goes and I emotionally deal with the current will, then my will actually has changed.
Yeah, but you've even got to have a desire to let go of the emotion, don't
Correct.
you?
I do.
And most people that I've met still listening to Divine Truth don't.
Yep, they do.
Right? So that's why things don't change. Because there's no desire to ask the question, why am I so afraid of emotion? Remember, in the second group, we ask the question why all the time.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yes.
Why am I like this? Why am I like that? The reason why we ask that question is because we're trying to encourage your desire, because we know that if we encourage your desire, you have a possibility of shifting from your current will-based condition.
Yeah.
Right? But without the question why, you're not going to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So rather than trying to force yourself to be different, you've got to ask, why do I want to stay the same? Can you see that? So try to force yourself to be different. It's almost an impossible thing because that's willpowering over what's actually inside of you, which is why you want to be the same as you currently are. You are what you are because you want to be what you are. That make sense to you? Right? And the only reason why that's not changing is because there's no desire to want to be something different on those issues. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why it's not changing. When I want to be something different and I actually have faith that that is possible, and I actually do some experiments and ask why, now I have the chance to change. I didn't have that chance before, but now I have. All right? And this is what I see many of you just living in this space where you just do the same thing over and over again. Same situation, same thing. Same situation, same thing. Same situation, same thing. Da 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 da. Imagine if you had a song that in your head, 24 by 7, and it was just going da 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 da. You know, after one day, you'd be driven out of your mind. But this is what you're doing with your life.
Yeah.
You're engaging the same thing the same way, the same thing the same way, the same thing the same way. No desire to ask why. Same thing the same way. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
And because you engage the same thing the same way every time, you've got no chance of change. Right? You've got to stop at some point and ask yourself why. If you don't, you'll just not change. You will stay forever in that place. Now, as we learnt in our foundation principles, God created the development principle, which basically forces everything to change. Sooner or later, you're going to respond to those principles in law, right? Sooner or later. But I'm saying to you, no, here's a faster way of doing it. Rather than getting forced into the whole process, wouldn't it be better to engage this thing called desire and actually do the process because you want to? Remember, the will gets corrected. If we looked at the will principles, and the will gets corrected by forcing you to get to the stage where there's so much emotion in you, so much baggage in you, that you just burst. But the trouble is, most of us don't burst, we just dribble and release the pressure. It's like a pressure valve. You know those old crock pots where you just put it on the stove. You know, I don't know if any of you have done this. You put it on the stove and you forget to release the pressure valve, or the pressure valve gets stuck. Eventually the whole thing blows up, right? It just boom, wrecks the place. And this is what many of us are like. Many of us are like that. We just feel like, oh, as long as I just let a little bit of pressure off, I'll not blow up. And really what you need to do is just have a blow up and just get to the stage where that's what I'm like right now, this is what I am. And do I want to know why? You see?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's why the emotion is so important, as you've been saying, because quite frankly, without doing it, there's no change.
Well, the emotion's very important, but even more important is asking myself why I don't want to feel it.
Yes. All right.
Because asking why, I've got a potential to shift from denying it, shutting it down, pushing it down, suppressing it, to a different place where I now start to allow it. Right?
Got it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Nikki, you'd like